Yom Tov, a day of rejoicing for Klal Yisrael, not only for those who are fortunate to conclude the learning of Shas, but for all Jews who cherish the Torah.
In a little while, Klal Yisrael will experience the greatest gathering of our generation, a gathering that will include tens of thousands of people in venues throughout the world to celebrate Torah learning, to celebrate the 12th cycle, the 12th Siyum Hashas of Daf Yomi. People all over the world have been learning daily for the last 7.5 years, and now thousands of them, more than ever before in the history of Klal Yisrael, have finished Shas. People in Canada, people in South Africa, in Eretz Yisrael, in England, in Switzerland. Every day people have been learning the Daf, and now comes the great celebration of Torah learning. And you are all part of it, because every single person that learns Torah is part of this great celebration. Klal Yisrael is united by Limud HaTorah. And that's exactly what Rav Meir Shapiro once said. Many of you certainly know that in 1923, Rav Meir Shapiro was the one who came up with this idea, and he presented it to a tremendous crowd at the Knessia Gedola of Agudath Yisrael. And he said that by everyone learning the same daf on the same day, that would bring an achdus, that would bring a unity into Klal Yisrael. And you know, he once said something fascinating. If you take a look at the daf itself, the Mishnah was written in Eretz Yisrael. The Gemara itself was written in Bavel. Rashi and Tosfos came from France. The Rif, which is one of the Mefarshim in the back of the Vilna Shas, came from Morocco. The Rambam, we have the Perush HaMishnayos in the back of the Masechtas. He was born in Spain. And the commentaries, the Marsha and the Maram, the Marsha was born in Lithuania and the Maram lived in Poland. And that unites Klal Yisrael. And so every word of Torah that you learn, whether it's Chumash, whether it's Mishnayos, whether it's Halacha, whether it's Gemara itself, that is all part of coming together and celebrating. And you know something? If you think about it, we are so fortunate today that you're able to learn, because this Siyum Hashas is really in honor of the Kedoshim of the Holocaust, who Nebuch lost their lives in Europe, 6 million of them, and 1.5 million of them were children your age, that Nebuch never had the opportunity to be in a yeshiva, to be able to learn. And so every word that you learn, think about it. It should be l'zeichad nishmas, those children who never had that opportunity. Today, we prepare for this great Torah program that is going to be taking place in venues throughout the world. Be part of this great celebration, not only by being there, but by learning and growing. And as you grow in Torah and you add to your Torah study every day, you too will feel a chelik of the greatest gathering of our generation.
This is Shmuel.
Hi.
Shmuel is one of the Masmidei Hasiyum.
Yep.
When Shmuel is on the bus, he reviews the Mishnayos he learned in class. His older brother, David, is also one of the Masmidei Hasiyum. When David does his Gemara homework, it gets counted for the program. After supper, Shmuel sometimes reads Mishnayos to his little sister Esti. He loves to call in the hotline number, type in the PIN number, and hear back how many Mishnayos he's learned so far. David does the same with how many lines of Gemara he's learned so far. Shmuel is hoping to win some awesome prizes, like a scooter or a remote control helicopter. But really, he's just happy to have the zchus of learning Torah.
Well, I really do want to win the prizes.
I want to share with you such a beautiful, touching story. Many, many years ago in Gateshead, which is in the northern part of England, there was a little 10-year-old boy that was taking a walk with his Melamed, with his Rebbe, in a beautiful park. And it was autumn, and the foliage was gorgeous. There were red leaves and orange leaves and brown leaves and green leaves. And the Rebbe and the little boy were talking. And then the Rebbe noticed a few leaves on the floor. And he bent down and he picked up a leaf and he said to the little boy, "My son, look at this. You see this leaf? This leaf thinks that it's free because it could fly wherever it wants. But it doesn't realize that in 2 days it's going to wither and die. You know why? Because it's no longer connected to the source. It's only those leaves that are still connected to the tree, that are connected to the source. It's those leaves that can blossom and flourish." And he said, "My kid, my child, I want to tell you something. All your life, you're going to meet all types of Jews. You're going to meet Jews who feel that they're free. They can go wherever they want. They can eat whatever they want. They can watch whatever they want. But they only think they're free. If they're not connected to the source, which is Torah, that's the beginning of their spiritual end. Eventually, there will be a spiritual death." And he said, that's the pasuk, Eitz Chaim hi lamachzikim ba. Eitz Chaim, it's a tree of life. The Torah is a tree of life to the ones who hold on to it. And he said, "My child, I want you to remember this and live with this." And this child grew up and he told me that this story has carried him till this very day. And this child is Rav Matisyahu Solomon, the great Mashgiach in Lakewood. He learned and grew up in Gateshead, and that was the message that his Rebbe taught him. And I think that that beautiful story can make us visualize something so beautiful. Let us imagine a tree, a big oak tree, an oak tree that has big, thick roots. The tree itself is the Torah, the Chumash and the Tanakh. And all the branches of the tree are the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. We know that there are 6 divisions in the Mishnah, Zroyim and Moyed and Noshim, Nezikin, Kochim and Tarais. So those are the branches. But each of the branches has leaves, and every leaf is a Mishnah, is a Masechta. Every leaf on that branch is a different Masechta, because we know in Zroyim there are many Masechtas. In Moyed, in Noshim, there are so many, many different Masechtas. And when we learn, any person, you don't have to learn the Daf Yomi only, whether you learn one Mishnah, you're connecting to that leaf, to that branch, to that tree. And that's the purpose of getting together today, to encourage every single one of us to join and be united with the Torah. Whether you learn a Mishnah, whether you learn a Pasuk Chumash, you're connecting, you are building that tree. And it makes no difference how old you are, and it makes no difference where you are. You could be in New York, you could be in Cleveland, in Chicago, in Miami, you could be in Los Angeles, Toronto, Montreal, you could be in London, you could be in South Africa, in Yerushalayim, any place. You can build this tree. This is your tree to build the Torah, to branch out to the 6 levels of Mishnayos, and then to all the different Masechtas.
We call upon the Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshivas Mir, Mereinu, Hagoyin Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel Shlita, to address the Olam.
Say, Adonai Lecha, Whoever heard such beautiful words, such sweet words, Adonai Lecha, Talmud Bava.
When I learn, it makes a difference.
I learn with Siyum and Bava Mitzvah.
I learn, it makes a difference.
I love to learn.
I am one of the Masmidei Hasiyum.
I am one of the Masmidei Hasiyum. I am one of the Masmidei Hasiyum.
I am one of the Masmidei Hasiyum.
I am one of the Masmidei Hasiyum.